Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Char Priolo. I have worshiped here since 1983. I am a member of the worship committee, and I sing in your choir, and I am serving as your worship host today. Welcome to those in the room, and welcome to those of you joining us on our live stream. This morning we welcome to our pulpit Betsy Simmons. Betsy is an interfaith minister trained at One Spirit in New York City. She works at Lily House Hospice, facilitates grief groups, and is grieving and healing herself. She'll be facilitating the Death Cafe on March the 2nd, part of our Winter Spirituality series. Thank you so much for sharing your message with us this morning, Betsy. Before we carry on with the service, I've just a few announcements to share. First of all, can everybody hear this? No? Yes. Come forward. Before we go on, this Winter Spirituality series has begun. There's a list of offerings on the welcome table downstairs and on our website, uumh.org. This week, Ellen is leading Qigong, Bonnie leads meditation on Zoom, and Karen Keel is leading Ikebana. Quaker-style worship continues on Wednesday evenings with Kenneth. Next week, yoga begins on Thursday afternoons at 4 o'clock with Kate Wallace-Rogers. And on Valentine's Day, Claire Willis offers a workshop on Zoom called Creating a Legacy from Everyday Life. Our next round of circle suppers, which are small potluck dinners in members' homes, will be held on Saturday, February 15th. You can sign up at the welcome table downstairs. And this is a great way to get to know people if you're new here or even if you're not. Mark your calendars also for an outdoor labyrinth walk on Sunday, February 16th, after the service at 2 p.m. And that will be held in North Truro, and there will be more information as we get closer. We are working on the 2025 member directory. Ada Snyder will be happy to take your updated photo during coffee hour today. And if you're here, that's if you're here in person. And if you're not, but would like to update your photo, you can send it to Kenneth at the office. That's office@uumh.org. And finally, if you're here in person today, we'll hope that you'll stick around for a little while after service ends for coffee and conversation downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. Now, we'll take a moment to affirm our community's covenant. You can find this on the little purple laminated cards in the pews, or you can just listen line by line and echo it back as I say it. I invite you to repeat each line. Love is the spirit of this meeting house. This is our great covenant. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. now here comes Betsy.
Good morning. So it is now chalice lighting time, and I'm going to invite Char to light the chalice. I invite everyone at home, online, to light a candle wherever you are so we can stay connected. Thank you, Char. So as Char lights the chalice, I'll read these words written by me. We light this chalice as a symbol of the universal light that fills us and calls us. Light that inspires, comforts, and connects us. May we learn to see the light and be the light in the dark. May we shine this light on the suffering in ourselves, each other, and the wide world. Thank you. And now I invite you to join me in singing our opening hymn, 1020, in the teal hymnal, Woyaya, and the choir will lead us. Thank you. Please rise as you like.
Can you hear me? Okay. So this song, I'm going to make you all singers. If you look at Woyaya, it has 4 pages. When you get to the 3rd page, I'm going to tell you what a repeat sign is. 2 lines with 2 dots. When you see that repeat sign, you're going to need to go back to another part of the song. It happens 3 times. If you look on page 3, Woyaya 3, you will see a repeat sign at the beginning of that line, and on page 4, you see another repeat sign. We're going to go back and sing a 2nd verse. Then you're done. But when you get to page 4, take a look at the middle part of the song. There is another repeat sign. We're going to sing that part twice. On the bottom is another repeat sign, and we're going to sing that part twice. The choir is going to help. So if you get lost, just follow the choir. Thank you, Brenda. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road
I invite us all now into a time of meditation and prayer. You're welcome to light a candle at the table here, where there's a journal to record your thoughts and feelings. After our prayer, we'll sing together Spirit of Life, hymn 123 in English and Spanish. And this morning's prayer is We Think We Get Over Things by Albert Huff-Stickler. We think we get over things. We don't get over things. Or say, we get over the measles, but not a broken heart. We need to make that distinction. The things that become part of our experience never become less a part of our experience. How can I say it? The way to get over a life is to die. Short of that, you move with it. Let the pain be pain, not in the hope that it will vanish, but in the faith that it will fit in, find its place in the shape of things, and be then not any less pain, but true to form. Because anything natural has an inherent shape and will flow towards it. And a life is as natural as a leaf. That's what we're looking for. Not the end of a thing, but the shape of it. Wisdom is seeing the shape of your life without obliterating, getting over a single instant of it.
first of two readings today is called Love Came First by Donna Ashworth. You don't move on after loss, but you must move with. You must shake hands with grief, welcome her in, for she lives with you now. Pull her up a chair at the table and offer her comfort. She's not the monster you first thought her to be. She is love. And she will walk with you, stay with you now, peacefully, if you let her. And on the days when your anger is high, remember why she came. Remember who she represents. Remember, grief came to you, my friend, because love came first. So ends the reading. Now is the time in our service where we take a collection for the ongoing support of this Meetinghouse and our shared ministry. During the collection, I will read the second reading for today, and we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, uumh.org, and there are QR codes on cards in the pews as well. I invite 3 volunteer ushers to come forth and make the collection on and off-site. The collection will now be gratefully received. Our second reading today is called Kindness, and it is by Naomi Shihab Nye. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you hold in your hand and what you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop, the passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you. How he, too, was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. It is then only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend. So ends the reading. I now invite Betsy so that we may hear her sermon.
Thank you, Jane. Marty, I see you not hearing well. Is that better? Yes, okay. So the title of the sermon today is Lost and Found. I've been pondering lost and found, beginning and ending, life and death for much of my life. What do we lose? What can we keep? What might we find in the absence? I'm really fascinated by the here and gone, like the tide coming and going, an inevitable, natural flow. One definition of lost is unable to find one's way, not knowing one's whereabouts, astray, off track. I think, I love to wander, follow unbeaten paths. I appreciate life's shifts and surprises that arise. I have a refrain very deep in my heart: I'd rather be lost than stuck. Rather roam than land. I've been a restless soul. I've moved many, many times, had many jobs, avocations. I bucked being bound to one role, one place, one relationship. Seeking sometimes felt more satisfying than finding, and anticipation kept me on my toes. Now, these days, in the last 2.5 years since moving to the Cape, settling by the sea, much more time with just me, I'm stilling, quieting, landing. I lost some restlessness and craving independence. I found a place I want to stay. I'm choosing to leave a long-time marriage, and I'm finding a very warm welcome in the LGBTQ community here, and I thank you. Not all who wander are lost. I love the Wendell Berry saying, when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And when we no longer know which way to go, we have begun our real journey. How about you? I'm going to ask you a few short questions and just pause a minute. So first thoughts. How about you? Have you ever lost your way? Was it taken away? Did you change your mind? Did you choose another way? What did you discover in the process? Enough questions, but just imagine each time something is lost or gone or done, that we settle in and pause a little bit in that in-between time, sometimes called the bardo. And the bardo to me means the sacred space between no longer and not yet. When we stop fearing or fighting uncertainty, we take that first daring step into the unknown zone. We leave our comfort zone, we develop some courage, and flow seeps in. Maybe the next step becomes clear. I love the Quaker concept, proceed as way opens, meaning take an action without prior clarity about all the details or outcome, and respect the ambiguity of the process. There are things we don't know, we can't know. There are many, many paths. No rush, no push. Patience. It's a beautiful poem by Rainier Maria Rilke. It goes like this. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart. and try to love the questions themselves. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. Live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. We can choose a new place, a new purpose, new passion, but we can't replace people we lose, which moves us into another definition of lost, where someone or something has been taken away and won't be found or recovered. And I'm just going to invite you, as I say this, to put your hand on your heart if you felt this. The loss of our beloveds to death is shocking, troubling, exhausting, and lonely. We all know this. Loss can take a long time, as in saying goodbye to someone with a long illness or dementia, or sudden, by choice or by chance. My folks died by choice in the last 5 years. They both chose to stop eating and drinking when they deemed themselves done living, were suffering, and were ready to die. Though it was their choice, and I supported them and guided them through, I grieved them deeply and differently. I wept and longed for them for a long time. Then that feeling very slowly subsided, and I felt so grateful. We had each other a long time. Now we don't. They had to go. They left me with love and comfort. Our ties can't be severed. I trust they're embedded in me, and I try to embody them, to speak as, behave as, feel as they did. They feel long gone from my sight, my hearing, my touch, but I do feel them in my heart. I lost my identity as a daughter. I found a new love being a grandma. Lost and found. My dad, with his fading memory, used to say he met a lot of new folks, the same ones over and over again. My sister died in April, Molly. We couldn't understand or appreciate each other fully for a long time, and I feel real regret and remorse for my part in our challenging sisterhood. And I'm sure some of you know that feeling of regret as well. I lost my innocence of sorts. I saw how I can cause someone to suffer. I was critical, kind of provocative, a little righteous, and I'm left thinking, who do I think I am? And reviewing my ways. I'm finding a little bit of forgiveness for myself in a Hawaiian practice called Ho'oponopono. Has anyone heard of it? It goes like this. So I learned it by looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. And then I learned to speak it to a beloved who I felt sorry for. I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. I say this to my sister Molly, and I hope to hear an answer or get a glimpse of her. Once in a while I do. But I do get to still be a sister to my 2 living sisters, reach out to Molly's husband and sons, but it's going to take a long time. Pain lingers, hopefully won't lodge in our hearts if we keep them open. I honor what grief teaches me and needs of me. Personally, rest, ritual, writing. I have a practice where I feel very tired in grief, so I lie down on the couch and yawn my head off until the tears come. It's a very good way to begin crying. I scry, which is the practice, again, of sitting in front of a mirror, closing your eyes. Imagine doing this, conjuring up your beloved who's died, seeing them in your mind's eye. And then as you're ready, slowly opening your eyes and soft gaze, looking at yourself. And sometimes, over practice, your beloveds come to you, have come to me in a nanosecond, in a little glimpse, in a feel, in a memory. And it's a really nice invitation to a visitation. I light a lot of candles. Just take a minute to think, what helps you to deal and feel your grief? See what first comes to mind. Might be privacy, might be company, prayer, counsel, being with others in a similar boat, giving. A few weeks ago, Brian did a reading. And the first line of the reading was, "Nothing is settled, everything matters." There's no once and for all. The story continues to unfold, be told by the universe and us. This is a comforting thought to me. I'll continue to learn from and honor my ancestors, make meaning of their gifts and rifts, the hurt and the healing. It helps me to remember that nothing lasts forever. Impermanence is the only assurance. Everything ends. Moments, relationships, experiences end, but they can't be lost or tossed. Everything is true, whole, and really holy in its time. Lost is not erasure. We lived it, learned from it. It served us then. It's not necessary or possible now. Love and legacy lives on, part of who we are forever becoming. I want to mention a book I read, which I really recommend, by Francis Weller, called The Wild Edge of Sorrow. And he talks about 6 gates of loss and lessons that we can learn along the way. And again, I'm just going to invite you to put your hand on your heart as you hear each of these kinds of loss. So the first one, everything we love, we will lose. And what we learn is vulnerability and faith. Second, part of ourselves cast off due to shame, parts of ourselves that haven't known love, and the lesson, compassion. Third, sorrow for the wide world. The healing, be part of the healing the world, like tikkun olam. The fourth, something that we expected in life but did not receive. The healing belonging to life just as it is. Fifth, ancestral grief or generational trauma. The healing, pay it forward, repair. And the last, personal harms to ourselves and to each other, and the healing, forgiveness practice. So how do we cope with all these losses? We could add the loss of our democracy and how we're all trying to cope and find ways to deal with that. Not to roll over, but to stand up, speak up, step up. We may want comfort, safety, and support. We may need courage, strength, and energy. May we find a balance of both. There's 2 other books I've been reading, which I want to recommend. One is called Lost and Found by Catherine Schultz. And her story is her dear dad died, as mine did, and then she pretty immediately, almost back to back, found her new wife. So living full grief and full joy, back to back, inseparable. She talks about the disappearances and discoveries that can shape us all, and we can find growth and gratitude in both. For our beloved, she said, we had them, we tended them. We were here to keep watch, not to keep. And don't define yourself by what you have lost, but what you do with what's left. Like the Tao, the concept of empty and full of possibilities. So what's found in our losing? Meaning, courage, knowing how to ask for help, empathy, compassion, strength you didn't know you had, better understanding, and hopefully love carries on. The other book is called Learning to Walk in the Dark by Barbara Brown Taylor. She says, almost everybody's afraid of being afraid. Do we have the courage to face what we're afraid of? We can't defend ourselves from life and loss, but we can consider that our resistance may be the problem. To be prepared for life is not to be spared of loss. We more need a leap of faith and dare to accept all that arises and falls away. Together, with support, we may. May it be so, and blessed be.
Thank you, Betsy. I now invite you to celebrate what has happened before us in our ancestors and about what we have now, and that's to be singing together hymn 1051 in the Teal Book. It's called We Are. And it's going to pep us up a little. Thank you. You may be seated. Well, it has become our practice to pose a question based on the theme of the service each week. It can be a topic of sharing at coffee hour today or with friends during the week. And if you'd like to delve deeper into this question, we invite you to join us on our Zoom coffee hour on Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Please contact the office if you need that link. That's office@uumh.org. The question this week: what have you lost? What have you found? That's what have you lost? What have you found?
Thank you, Char. So I'll end with these closing words. May we accept what's lost and found, what's present and absent. May we feel and share both our grief and our gratitude. May we find our way through life's inevitable shifts and shakeups. May we find our authentic whole selves in loving, losing, and living on. Maybe grief is the price we pay for love, and maybe it's worth it as we keep loving. Thank you. Blessed be.